lot of those books, and I tend to give them away to when a couple that I know have a baby. My present is a Runaway Bunny. And I usually write something like, I have two favorite books. One is The Runaway Bunny, and the other is Calvin's Institutes. But read this one first, I say. It's just a great and moving story of this little bunny that thinks it wants to get away, but it can't. You know, whatever the bunny does, the mother comes. Wherever the bunny goes, the mother comes. And finally, the little bunny just gives up and says, "Shucks, I might as well stay home and be your little bunny." And the mother says, "Have a carrot." But I think it's a wonderful picture of how God doesn't give up with us. I'll use that in Christian imagination because I want to focus a good bit of the class on one thing, and that is the parable of the prodigal son. And there's some great writings that have come out on that. Henry Nouwen's book on the parable of the prodigal son. Tim Keller's Prodigal God, which is a great book. But Runaway Bunny, too, fits in. And Confessions. The Confessions of St. Augustine this time. Reading through it, how often he refers to the fact that, like the prodigal, he's gone into a far land, eating the husk of the food that the swine were eating. And this little story, though, tells us that, like the mother, God doesn't give up on us and kind of knows how to outwit us. A similar thing is the Hound of Heaven, but for children, Runaway Bunny is safer than the Hound of Heaven. We can get into that later, but the story of God's love for us and pursuit of us. I usually, in the church history class, I would use this little book when I was talking about St. Augustine's view of grace, and that God's grace comes to us, it reaches us. We don't deserve it, we're not looking for it. It's just that God comes and takes us where we are, and brings us to himself. And I'm usually talking about semi-Pelagianism and Pelagianism at the same time, which has another view of how salvation works. And we'll show the students Runaway Bunny, and then say, now there's another children's book that describes Pelagianism, and that is The Little Engine That Could. But don't read that one to your kids. You don't want them to be Pelagians. Read The Runaway Bunny, and they'll be Augustinians.